Hello, everyone. I'm not sure if you might have seen this story or video floating around. I'm not going to show the video, but I will have it in my description box where you can go and actually see it for yourself of what happened. But there was a two females in a O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Now there was the female employee, and then there was the female customer. And so this video or the story actually is coming from worldstarhiphop.com, and there is a video that you can actually watch once with the I'll put it in the description box for you. However, what happened is they were in a verbal altercation back and forth, and one of the females started talking about, and I believe it was the employee started talking about the customer's mother. So the customer went behind the counter pretty much, and they got into a physical altercation. The customer did beat up. She did win the fight. She whipped up the female employee. Now, the customer walked away, and she was probably like at an end cap, if you know what I mean, when end cap where you're getting ready at the end of an aisle, and she was getting ready, looks like, to go down an aisle, and the employee, female employee, she came from behind the counter, approached the customer, shot her in the back. I believe it was in the back because the customer had her back turned because she was walking. Then she proceeded to, after she shot her, the customer fell on the floor, the female customer. She started kicking her and things like that and telling her, "Are you sorry yet? Say you sorry. Are you sorry?" And so they did arrest the female employee. And from what I gathered from the customers in the hospital, I don't know if she's still there yet now, but she was in the hospital recovering. Now, some people say it was self-defense. I disagree with that, and this is my opinion based on what I saw in the video. But you can leave your comments below. Once the threat is no longer over, then it's not a threat anymore. And the employee actually literally got beat up from the video, but the customer was no longer a threat to her because she walked away. She was at, like I said, at the end cap, probably getting ready to go down the aisle, and the employee came out after the fact, after the physical altercation was over, and shot her. Now, we talk about suspects no longer being threats, and police officers have shot and killed many suspects that were running away. And we say once it's no longer a threat, why would they need to shoot that person? And especially as many times as we have witnessed, especially in this most recent shooting of this black young man. And so these were two black females, and I believe, in my opinion, the threat was already over. It was kind of like to me, it was a fair fight, when they got to scrapping, and one person lost, one person won. Sometimes it's an even Steven, but this was where the customer actually did, whip her up some. And so this is not to make light of any story or anything that happened, because it's really, when you really think about it, when we were growing up, if you got in any fight and you won the fight, they usually left you alone. But these days, people are getting guns and killing up one another, and sometimes verbal arguments is just not worth it in your energy, because when you walk away from yelling and screaming and cursing or whatever, you feel a certain type of energy that you probably wish wasn't up on you. If you've ever gotten into a fight or even a verbal altercation and you start yelling, screaming, cursing or whatnot, and most of us probably feel a certain kind of way after we're done with it. It doesn't make us feel good. And a lot of times we are convicted in our spirit by our behavior as well, because we should have taken the high road. Now, a lot of people will get upset when someone's speaking about their mother. That is a trigger point for a lot of people. And I say this to say this. A lot of times people don't know your mother. They don't know your father. And if they do, and they're saying stuff, walk away from them. Ignore them. Because obviously they got their issues of their own they're dealing with, that they have to go that far to start speaking about someone's parents. And I'm not blaming anyone. All I'm saying is that sometimes we have to learn to walk away from foolishness and these trigger points. Well, you talking about my mother, that's fighting, because some people believe that. As growing up, anytime you said something about somebody's mother, those were fighting words. They could talk about your father all day long, but when it came down to your matriarch of the family, we are aware that that is a trigger point for a lot of people. And it's also where people will say, look, I'm tired of you talking to me. I told you to leave me alone, to stop talking to me, to shut up, blah, 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 blah. And it leads to a physical altercation. So with that being said, we cannot determine how somebody is going to come back. And so this female employee was beat up. She was whipped, after they were scrapping. And she came back with a gun. But it was after the fact, where the threat was no longer there, because because the customer did walk away. And she was actually kind of a distance away from the counter when the employee came back and shot her. And there's people in the store that were filming this, that were videoing it, obviously. And some people you could hear saying, get the battery, whatnot. And so, it's just really a sad situation to see something like this happen, a fair fight, and then for someone to be shot afterwards. And so there is no longer fair fighting. People are going to come, and this is what she did. She got that gun. Now, we don't know if it was in her purse, where she got the gun from, and I actually had read some comments that someone said they live down the street, and they know that they are not allowed to have a gun in the store at all. And, and that the young woman that was shot was recovering in the hospital. She was still there. Now, I don't know if that was, that's the same, she's still in the hospital. But some people said it was self-defense. I don't see how it was, especially if the threat was no longer there. She walked away. And it seemed to me that the female employee, she's a former probably employee now. She was terminated, I believe, and they did arrest her, and they actually had her in jail without bail. From what I understood, she had not made bail at the time of this video, when I saw the video, when I got the article, okay? She was very probably humiliated, angry, and mad that she was worked up pretty good, and her only way of getting revenge was to shoot the woman, the customer, I would say that, the customer, and then start kicking her while she's on the floor, telling her, say you're sorry, trying to humiliate her, I guess, as much as she was humiliated from getting beat up, which was two females having a fair fight without weapons until she pulled out her gun. And I always say that you can never tell what somebody's comeback is going to be, because there are times that people will start arguments with you, and when you come back with something better than them, or stronger words than them, they want to cry, and they, don't understand how you had to be that harsh, but they don't understand how their words or actions affected the other person. And so in this case, I don't condone any type of violence, as I always do not. So I want to be very clear on that. But I still believe that, in my opinion, the threat was already over. It was a fair fight, and the lady had already walked away. She did not return to beat her up some more. No, she was walking away. She was a customer in the store, and the woman came from behind the counter after getting up off of the floor from being whipped, and getting a gun, approaching her and shooting her, and then, making light of it while she was down on the floor. And so they may even, I'm not saying they will, but they might even add an enhanced charge to that, of her doing that. So she's in a lot of trouble at this point, and she's more than likely going to get jail time. And she had not made bail at the time. So it's unfortunate that these things continue to happen in our society. It's unfortunate that people are not able to control their emotions and walk away from situations. They say that, words never hurt, but, and some people say words do hurt. So, maybe we can get to a better place of just trying to walk away from folks. And I know it can be hard when somebody keeps saying stuff to you that's humiliating or degrading. I understand it. I mean, I grew up in an era where people like to fight and they like to bully you, and you have to fight back, and things like that. And certain things will trigger you, and even your children can be triggered by comments that other children can say when they start talking about your family members, your parents. And so it can be very trying, when it comes down to it. But as adults, some people haven't got to a place where they're mature enough to just say, you know what, look, I'm leaving this store. I don't have time for it. I'll come back another day, or I'll go to another store. I don't know how far away another auto parts store was. And some people feel, hey, I have a right to shop in this store as a customer. The doors are open and they should remain unlocked until closing time. And I'm in here, and employees need to be able to step back and remember that they're in a professional environment, regardless of if it's an auto parts store, a fast food restaurant, whatever it may be. You are still in a position to be professional. You're wearing the uniform that they give you, the smock or whatever it may be, but you have to be professional. And not sure why this employee would even get into a verbal argument, verbal confrontational argument with a customer to begin with. Sometimes we as employees need to step back and allow somebody else to help them. When you get up in your emotions like that, step back, allow someone else. Say, look, you know what, I'll have someone else to help you. I'm sorry, or thank you, ma'am, have a good day, or sir, but someone else will help you. My coworker will be glad to help you. And get yourself out of that situation. Remove yourself out of that situation, because now you have a customer that has been shot in an auto parts store, and you have a female employee that's facing some jail time, because of what transpired. And when you really think about it, it happened in this store. So O'Reilly Auto Parts is facing, a claim. I was going to say a claim because it's an injury that happened in their store, a shooting. So they are facing, a claim. However that claim, whatever that claim entails, that's what they're facing, because it happened in their store, and the cameras are there, the video is there, and they have to cooperate. I believe they said they will have to cooperate with the authorities in the investigation. So leave your respectful comments below. Let me know what you think about this, when you look at the video. And thank you for stopping by again. Don't forget to like, share, or rate the video, and leave your comments below. And if you want to donate to the channel, you're more than welcome to do so. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, StandupBcounted, without the 2. God bless you all on today. Peace.